Alright, I meant to include y'all with the rest of it. I forgot, glasses and stuff are kind of required for this. Alright. Well, my saw has been completely unhelpful for this project. It has been completely unhelpful. It makes a good clamp. But that's the thing about using any of them. Getting near an edge, sometimes you're better off to grind it than try to cut it. But I have greater than the width of the blade right here. But with my drift and the not holding this cutting wheel perfectly square, I got a little bit of a what happened there, I drifted back into the cut I just made on the other side. And now it's a little notch and it's off. That's what's furious. This is even worse. The big saw, it'll drift a 1/4 inch in that 1.5 inches. And it'll be even worse on a 3-inch. Maybe not a 1/4 inch, but that's why I got to using these discs. Yeah, don't touch that. It'll stick to your finger and you'll smell bacon. Is that bacon cooking? Yeah, it's called long pig. Yeah. That long pig is you. Alright, so what I had been doing is going to all of them, checking the squareness. Check a square here, and it's square right here is a little off. But what I got going up and down right there on that cut is my drift made it off. And see this side over here? Almost perfectly square up and down. And see, this side is a 16th, not even a 16th off on that side. So I got to grind off this side now because of how I managed to cut that. So what I noticed when I looked at it, my scribe line, I didn't cut perfectly to the scribe line, I ground to it. And I don't think I'm going to get it any better than that. All right. We're going to have to weld this. The other frame is going to hit it right here on each end. So we'll weld prep it once we're cut. All right, so let me show you what I got to do to cut it. All the cross members on it currently are 60 1/2 inches. Now, I set my sawhorse up here, so it was roughly end up with that 60 1/2 landing right here in the saw. And it is right here, right past it. So, here's what I've been doing. Take a big fat marker. And I know it's anal retentive and repetitive, but paint around your curves, corners. Why won't you? Right there. And my paint marker gets a little fatter as we go around That's all right. I think most people tend to do that. Around the sun, you know. Anyway. All right. That's it for the big Sharpie marker. Let's reach down here in my pocket. Grab the scribe. Now, because I didn't get that exactly right, it's like a 64th off. Right? So, I'm going to come right here at 60 1/2. Hey! Well, apparently my roller is a lot softer than my... I'm trying. But I've been measuring every side. I don't transfer well. You know, you go around that bend and it's 1/4 inch radius or more, even on this 1/8 inch stuff. And I don't like it. Let's see. Y'all ever seen the anal retentive carpenter that Phil Hartman used to do? Sometimes when I do this work, I feel just like that. I think I know where he got it from. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to be extremely patient with it. And do steps that are completely unnecessary. And then I'm going to clean up after every single piece. Got to get up those pilings. There's an acting class where they teach you to come up with that. And what is it? Phil Hartman, he has that the anal retentive carpenter, and it's an exercise. One of the acting teachers has it, and I forgot her name. Molly something. She used to have that sister Mary Catherine Mark, the cheerleader. She used to do Molly Shannon, and anyway, that's from that same acting exercise. I recognized it when as soon as someone taught it to me. That exercise, I realized that's where those two characters came from. Now you see, I pushed that up against the saw, but I ain't been trusting the saw. It has not been extremely accurate for me here. And now that we got that, time to cut the other end, right? I squared up the one end, now we're going to square up the other. And I don't know if I got y'all inside or not. So let's check. Y'all still looking at me working over here? All right, we're good enough. Gotta be careful when it drops down in the slot. That's when it'll break your blade. Gotta maintain control. Although, more than likely, most people watching this will know. I already know that. Try to stay as shallow as you can to complete the cut. I don't like this lock-on shit. Sometimes. Sometimes I really do like it. Other times, not so much. Alright, let's see if I manage to cut this the right length. 60 and 1/2 inches. 60 and a half. No, I'm a little past the mark there. I'm going to see if I ground it, cut it square. Nope. Alright. Come back here. Ground a little bit too much. Alright, a little high here. Come here at the bottom. Did a little too much. Now, my question then becomes, is a 64th of an inch. See, now I got to grind. It's so much easier to do this with the belt grinder, for me, but I think that's good enough. Let's see what we got here. A little hump right there at the weld seam. I know. I'm not well, the plan is to seal this off. Alright, that looks good. Oh, that's amazing. Pretty good. Still did a little too much. But, I mean, dude, that's like a 32 to a 64th gap. So, maintain control, keep it in your hand. Don't let the thing hit both ends of the thing at the same time because it's going to jerk and explode. You know, don't let the wheel hit this side and this side unless you're intentionally doing that. Still don't do that. Because one side's cutting and one side's pushing. One side's pulling and one side's pushing, and it'll stutter, and then it'll bounce and pop, and next thing you know, the stone will explode, or it'll jerk and fly out of your hands. Just don't do it. All right. Oh, that's long. So there's our 60.5-inch piece for the rear end of the vehicle. Trailer. Let me take off my earmuffs. Let me take off my safety glasses. You know what I found is a good way to store the two of those together? The eyeglasses fit perfectly if you take them and stick the arm down in there like that. You stick them like that, and you can almost wear the daggone things. You can almost wear them and not even realize your safety glasses are on there. Okay, so anyhow, that's just neat. That's 22 minutes. I'm sure it was as fun as watching paint dry or grass grow. I thank you for joining me if you are one who likes to torture yourself in such a manner. I cannot give you any recompense other than I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, have a good one.